Thanks for joining me for this edition of Money Monday. I'm Jessica, and today we're going to talk about selling things at craft shows. Alright, today's topic is selling at craft shows, and this is something I've had some experience with. As I first started selling online, I also spent a portion of my time doing craft shows, and initially I started doing most of the items that we were selling, and then later on my husband, he was a blacksmith, and as he was growing his skills, he came alongside me and he was selling items also. So craft shows, let's start with the basics here. You can find craft shows a lot of times in your local newspaper, and also if your largest local newspaper, so for example for us it's Dayton Daily News, and they have their own website, activedayton.com, where they have all of the local events going on for our area. So if I go there and I go under festivals and shows, they have an outline there of what type of shows and craft shows and fairs and things like that that they have going on. Now, a lot of these you will see happening in the fall up till Christmas time, craft bazaars, they'll call it, things like that. And again, sometimes you'll see them in the newspaper. You can also try Googling it. You can look on Facebook, and a lot of times they'll have try to do some advertising that way as well. Now the vendor spaces for these, they widely vary depending on the venue. Sometimes they're held at churches or schools, and I think a lot of the average ones that we had seen was around $25 to $30 in that range for getting a spot at a craft show that was either 1 or 2 days long. That may vary too a little bit whether or not you need electricity. Sometimes they have a limited amount of spaces and they may charge a little extra for the electricity. So most craft shows are indoors. You won't need a tent per se, but you will need, or a trade, you may have seen those before, trade tents. You don't necessarily need that, but you will need a display of some sort. So this could be fairly simple. It could be a couple of tablecloths, top tables, and we recommend floor-length tablecloths, as that looks really nice, and you can store any excess inventory you have underneath the table or your boxes and crates. Now, some of the items that I started selling when I first started doing craft shows is I need some handmade soap. I did like basic melt and pour soaps, really easy to get into. I started, they have supplies at Hobby Lobby for that, and it's easy to learn if that's something you want to try. I also had some handmade candles. I also had some crocheted earrings. I did a little bit of crocheting. And what else? I also did some like candy making and bake sales, stuff like fudge and caramel and Buckeyes. Those are peanut butter balls with dipped in chocolate. Those really sold well for me, and I sold them by like half-pound increments. And so you'll want to have like little containers for those or something. I'll pop up some pictures here throughout this video of some of the things I'm talking about. Now, when it comes to the food, there is probably the craft show that you're at may have some regulations, and so you may have to do a little research for the specific show or for the specific state you're in to see what that is. Normally they'll outline that. Like a lot of times they don't like things that perishables per se, like anything with dairy, stuff like that. So you kind of got to do some research if you're going to sell food items and if you need a food vendor's license or not. And in some cases, in order to sell at craft shows, if it's a very large one, they will require you to have a transient vendor's license, which just means you filed with the state that yes, I will collect sales tax and I will pass it on to you. So here in Ohio, we have Ohio Business Gateway. In your state, you probably have a state organization that handles that, similar to the Ohio Business Gateway. So that, depending on the show you're going to, you may or may not need that. Little small town shows most likely don't need that. So so I've given you a few ideas of things you can sell, whether it be baked goods or it be handmade items. It could be handmade crafts. It could be decorations for Christmas. It could be ornaments. It's just a few ideas. There's so many great, fantastic ideas out there. But yeah, you can definitely make money selling stuff at craft shows. A lot of the little small ones we went to, we made anywhere from $100 to $150 a day. So this is just, you know, depending on where you're at on how frequently you can do those, will also designate whether it could be a full-time job for you or whether it's just something to put a little extra cash in your pocket. But thank you for joining me for this Money Monday. If you check out my channel banner, it'll have my posting schedule and also the playlist on other Money Monday my Money Monday playlist where you can check out other videos like this. And I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll catch you on the next one.